Good afternoon, Carmel. I'm McLean Wood.
And I'm Savion Bias with your CHTV News.
Today you'll be hearing about Puerto Rico's recovering from Hurricane Maria, a local business closing,
recent security measures at airports, and CHS Performing Arts updates. It's going to be a great show.
But first, let's roll the intro.
Go in there. Just tell them we're not moving.
Just for like a little bit, yeah.
Thanks to solar-powered filtration provided by the Pure Foundation, a nonprofit charity, clean water arrives in Puerto Rico to provide communities to access clean drinking water. When Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico back in September, it has been nothing but the slow recovering process of getting back the resources they need. The foundation has been distributing emergency water box filtrations across the territory. The water box is a solar-powered military-grade water filtration that can clean thousands of gallons of water. Several Boys and Girls Club locations have served as community distributions for food, water, and other resources since the hurricane hit. The executive vice president of Pure Foundation says that she and her team of volunteers are already planning a second outreach trip to Puerto Rico to distribute more water boxes to the rest of the island.
That's a really inspiring story. In national news, airports across the U.S. will be implementing new security measures to their screening processes. Earlier this year, President Trump placed restrictions on international passengers, requiring them to check all large electronics before proceeding. The Trump administration removed the ban in July and gave airlines 3 months to implement higher security, or a new ban would be put in place. In response, the TSA has begun requiring domestic passengers to remove all electronics larger than a cell phone from their luggage and place them in separate bins while going through security. Though specifics have not been released, international flyers can expect additional screening and even short interviews while going through the airport security, as well as inspections of smaller personal devices. Many airlines have begun to advise passengers to arrive at least 90 minutes early if they want to get to their flights on time. These changes are set to be implemented today, October 26th. Now over to James with the news updates.
Thanks, Savion. In local Carmel news, the Square Donut shop on Rangeline and Main Street has been closed due to health and safety violated by the Square Donut Bakery on Washington Street in Indianapolis. According to the Marion County Health Department, they found 4 critical violations including finding gnats on donuts and other violations having to do with leaking water. Due to these violations, all Square Donut bakeries in the area will be closed till further notice. The Carmel Bakery's last inspection did not have any critical violations, meaning that it will be reopened as soon as it can. You can expect it to be reopened as soon as December 1st. In other local news, the new outdoor ice rink next to the Palladium will be open soon this winter. Mayor Jim Brainerd says that the new addition to the Carmel will attract many more tourists to the city and give Carmel residents a fun activity to enjoy in the winters to come. That's all I have for you today, Carmel. Now we're to McLean at the host desk.
Thanks, James. In sports news, 16-year-old Carlos Sanchez has passed away suddenly after collapsing during his high school football game on Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. Sanchez was a student at Moon Valley High School as well as a well-known athlete in Phoenix. He was playing defense when he fell back and hit his head and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The teams completed the game, leaving Moon Valley defeated. The school district and the police department of Phoenix did not announce the passing of Carlos until Sunday, October 22nd. The cause of his death has not yet been confirmed. However, initial reports say Sanchez had had a seizure. According to his classmates at Moon Valley High School, Sanchez was such a genuine person that even if people didn't know him, they were still heartbroken over it. The head football coach, Seth Milliken, states that Carlos will live as a symbol of all that is pure and that his teammates is full of young men who will go out to the world and treat people in a better way because of Carlos. And now to Ted and John with more sports news.
Thank you, McLean. Over in England, the Premier League has kicked off their first 9 games with a ton of action right now. Manchester City is in first with 25 points, and right behind them is Manchester United and Spurs with 20 points each. This past week, there have been many movements in the manager position. For example, Everton's manager, Ronald Koeman, stepping down. He seemed to have known he was going to be sacked, though. In the Europa League loss to Lyon, he stated after stepping down last Thursday after the defeat to Lyon in the Europa League, "I knew it was crisis time." Also, right now they're in relegation zone, right after finishing last season in 7th with 61 points and qualifying themselves for the Europa League. Also with some manager problems, the 2015-2016 champions Leicester City just fired their Craig Shakespeare, their manager, and replaced him with the previous Southampton manager, Claude Puel. Hopefully this is a turnaround for Leicester City, who is sitting in 14th place right now. Puel seems to be happy with this new move when he says, "I'm looking forward to working with the owners, players, and staff and supporters to deliver further lasting success." Now on to what I think is going to be the biggest game this weekend. Manchester United take on Tottenham Hotspurs, with Manchester United trying to bounce back off a tough loss to Huddersfield Terriers, which seemed to have created some tensions between the manager, Jose Mourinho, and the players. And Spurs, who just came off of 2 great wins against Real Madrid in the Champions League and in Madrid, and also Liverpool, who they just beat 4-1. This will be a really fun matchup to see, in my opinion, and if Mourinho is still playing his park the bus tactic, it'll still be fun to watch. What's your opinion on the match, Sean?
Well, I think that the Spurs are going to pull out the victory and pass Manchester United on the table. In the NBA, Wednesday night, the Indiana Pacers visited Oklahoma City Thunder to face Paul George after shooting a franchise high 66.7% from the field the night before. The Pacers had a tough night shooting the ball. They shot a disappointing 34% from the field last night. Former Pacer Paul George had a tough night as well. He played 19 minutes and only had 10 points due to foul trouble. Despite Victor Oladipo's 35 points, Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony combined for 56 points and paved the way for a 114-96 Thunder victory over the Pacers.
I hope the next time these two teams face off, the Pacers will get their revenge on a former player. Now back to the host desk with Savion.
Thanks, Ted. In entertainment news, rock and roll fans are in mourning after the death of music legend Fats Domino. A famous pianist and songwriter died of natural causes yesterday, surrounded by his loving family. Fats Domino was famous for his hits like Blueberry Hill and Ain't That a Shame. Within his career, he would go on to sell 65 million records and eventually be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. In 1987, he would receive the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. The late Elvis Presley considered him to be the true king of rock and roll, naming Domino one of his major influences. After the news of his passing came out, many popular celebrities, such as Samuel L. Jackson and Wendell Pierce, have given their tributes to the icon over social media. Rest in peace, Fats Domino. And now to Mason with more entertainment news.
Good afternoon, Carmel. It's Mason Crum with your CHTV Entertainment Update. In the Kardashian world, it has been rumored that youngest sister Kylie Jenner is pregnant with rapper Travis Scott. This would be her first child at the age of only 20 years old. Fans believe that Kylie has been hiding her curves under baggy clothing she has recently been seen in. Also, as the Kardashians celebrate Christmas early for the reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kylie has yet to be seen in their latest photo op. In Carmel High School performing arts news, the Marching Greyhounds, along with the Color Guard performers, took the championship at Bands of America Indianapolis Super Regional this past Saturday. The Carmel students won and qualified themselves for a trip to compete in a national competition in Southern California and took off on Tuesday. We wish our Carmel Band program the best of luck, and to stay updated, you can check the Carmel Band's Twitter page. That's all in entertainment news today. This has been Mason Crum for CHTV, and now back to you, McLean and Savion.
Thank you, Mason, and that concludes today's show. Don't forget to follow Carmel TV on Instagram and CHTV on Twitter for your daily CHS news updates.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to the CHTV YouTube channel to watch more videos on what's happening around Carmel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Savion Bias.
And I'm McLean Wood, signing off.